This is Russ Wilcox from the Southeast Kansas Education Service Center at Greenbush, and today we have the privilege of talking with Andy Tompkins. Many have some familiarity with Andy Tompkins due to a top 10 list that we used in some of our E-Connections previously, but Mr. Tompkins, first, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And I apologize because I know that you do have the doctor in front of your name, but you said it either way, so
right.
We'll just go by Andy Tompkins.
Fine.
Andy, let's talk a little bit about you first, because I see that you're an associate professor for the University of Kansas and a former Kansas Commissioner of Education. And that pretty much stems your background, but talk a little bit about what that entails.
Well, right now, once I retired from the commissioner's role, I teach at KU and in the doctorate program, a master's program for school leadership. So preparing principals and superintendents. Fantastic.
And you're actually out here kind of doing the same?
Well, here they have a principals leadership program through Greenbush, and Paula Kellogg and I help organize that for them, so that's why I was here today.
Oh, fantastic. Now, what sort of things do they do here when they bring
we're in that? Mm-hmm. Well, the idea here is to let the principals kind of guide some of the things that they'd like to learn. Mm-hmm. So today, for example, we had a session on differentiated instruction, like how to help people within their school, teachers in the school, serve the needs of more kids in their own classroom and that kind of thing. And we also have a discussion usually about current issues that are on their mind, and then we give them a chance to talk in what we call role-alike groups, which is, the elementary principals, the middle school principals, the high school principals. So we have a series of these throughout the year. We have one here and one at Forbes, and then there's 5 of them, so we have kind of 5 core topics throughout the year.
Now, are these school superintendents and principals, They're
all principals.
They're all principals?
Mm-hmm.
Now, are they selected, or are these...
No, they just sign up for what's called the Principal Leadership Series.
Okay. And do most principals know about this, or is this...
Oh, I think they do. We usually end up with about 15 to 30, depending on the year and so forth. So this one's a little bit larger. We have, 25 to 30 this year here, and we have about 15 at Forbes.
Fantastic. Now, you're going to be presenting, right, or giving... a talk at this KASA, right, fall conference here that's just getting ready to take place?
That's the State Superintendent's Organization.
Now, what are you going to be talking about?
Well, I know the proposal, they're doing a thing on relationships with community and so forth. What I'm going to do is, they've given me a block of time larger than I could fill. It wouldn't take me 5 minutes to tell them everything I knew. But we're going to do essentially 3 things. We're going to talk a little bit about, there's a group that formed about 3 years ago or 4 called the Partnership for 21st Century Skills. And they've developed a couple of documents over the last few years, and one on learning in the 21st century, one on being work ready. So we're going to look at those, some of the results of those documents, talk a little bit with them, have them discuss, what's happening in their schools and so forth about those. The other item we're going to use is the Mid-Continent Regional Educational Laboratory out of Denver did what they call a meta-analysis, but it's essentially taking all the research that's been done about characteristics of superintendents that actually relate to student achievement. And they just developed their report this year, and so we're going to spend some time reviewing that so that these superintendents can kind of do a self-evaluation themselves and talk some about, those characteristics in depth and how they respond to them. And then the final thing we're going to do at that one is, while we're there, is to talk to them some about the kind of the change in schooling, about how we need to be able to use more professional judgment in making decisions in schools in the 21st century, and how this has kind of evolved in our practice over the last 40 years. So kind of those 3 segments is what we're going to do while we're there.
Cool. Now, how long have you been involved in this, or is this the first year that you actually...
Well, KASA, they have 2 annual meetings a year, and so, every now and then I get asked to be with them, and so it's kind of, they just have, these are just annual meetings they'll have, and they'll ask some people in state and some people from out of state to be there.
Oh, well, that's nice. Sounds like a privilege.
It is a privilege to be with them.
Well, and it is a privilege and an honor to have you here with us today.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed your lunch.
I did, and thank you.
And we welcome you back anytime.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.